Hi everyone, Chad Shoop here, and the other day I was in the car with my son, and we were having a conversation, we were talking, I just picked him up from school, and then we went silent for a minute or so, and then he says, "Hey Dad," and I didn't respond right away. We're the only two in the car, so I figured he would just kind of pick up on his conversation, but then he just said, "Hey Dad," again, as he was looking for my response to acknowledge that he was trying to talk to me, even though we're the only two in the car, the radio's not on, and we were just in a conversation like a minute before that. But he picks this up because he's been talking to Apple's Siri, the personal smart assistant that lives on the iPhone. He's been talking to that lately. He helps it with his homework. He uses it to play music, to ask it questions. And when you talk to Siri, you say, "Hey," and then Siri, and then it'll respond. And there it goes. It's trying to talk to me now. But when he does that, he waits for that beep. He wants to hear that acknowledgement that it is listening, because sometimes you say it, and if it's not listening, you're rambling on trying to ask it a question. But guess what? It never even heard your original command. So he's been trained to kind of talk to humans that way as well, waiting for acknowledgement. But the bigger picture here is that these are kids, he's 9 years old, that's growing up with this technology, and he's learning how to use it, how to adapt to it. And in 10 years from now, it's just going to be the norm that he's used to talking to electronic devices. He's used to communicating with them, and he's going to want to communicate with even more than just a smartphone. He's going to want to communicate with the refrigerator, with the vacuum cleaner, with the doorbell, and just be able to use his voice to make all these commands and to make all these things happen. And that's going to be way different than our generation, where I still use Google search to ask questions and to find information, whereas he'll go straight to Siri or YouTube, which is Google owned, but he's using different stuff to find that information. And really what this all ties into is the future of the Internet of Things, which is this idea that everything is going to eventually become interconnected through the internet. You're going to be able to talk to your shoes at some point. Nike just released a self-lacing shoe that you can control with an app on your smartphone to make it do things for you. And then you're going to have the refrigerator, the vacuum cleaner, and while those things are being developed today and many people own them, they're not quite the standard for every house yet. And we're going to see it expand well beyond these large appliances into practically everything in your home is going to become smart. And when this happens, there's going to be a large demand for chips that go into these devices that make them smart. That's really what is behind all of this latest technology that helps drive it to where we can communicate with these different devices, is the chips that go into it that are embedded in these everyday appliances. So going ahead, these chips are going to be in huge demand, and those stocks just recently went on sale. Many of them are down over 50% since December. So this is a huge area of the market that many people have been waiting for an opportunity to buy into. And this recent crash that we've seen is an excellent opportunity to jump in now that all this negative news is behind them. And when they look ahead, they're going to look to this future growth of generations like my son, who's 9, 10 years old, and all they're growing up with is this latest technology, and they want it at their fingertips, and they're going to want more and more as they get older, and it's just going to become the normal way of life. So as that develops and as this really takes over our economy, the big winners of these technological advancements are going to be chip stocks. And I have one that I wanted to talk about today, but be sure to read my full article below on Winning Investor Daily to get that stock pick, to understand the enormous potential that it has going forward and how this stock is the ideal stock to own right now. So that's all for my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to our page. And until next time, I'm Chad Shoop.